JM and the AM, don't forget that today is Giving Tuesday, and those of you out there who are inclined to support our efforts and make sure that JM and the AM and the Nachum Segal Network continues on a daily basis, go to fjbunity.org. Again, go to fjbunity.org. I am proud to say we've exceeded 100 donors already, which is pretty amazing, frankly. 200 plus 16 just came in from an anonymous donor. Thank you. Esther and Jeffrey Stock, 20 times high. Thank you very much. And we are about, the next donation we get will put us over the $13,000 mark, on our way to over $200,000, please God, by the end of this calendar year. So thank you to everybody who's been so generous. It is much appreciated. Joey Hecht is in our studio. You may recall that we always say proudly that the future of the Jewish people is in the state of Israel. Joey Hecht also believes that the future of the Jewish people is in the state of Israel, and he's doing something about it. He's been with us before, of course, talking about real estate in Israel and how his company is really a one-stop shop for everything you'd like to accomplish, no matter where in Israel you want to buy. And I should add, by the way, since today is Giving Tuesday, that Joey Hecht is one of those people who, when we mentioned to him that we are raising funds to keep us going here for another year, he didn't think twice, did not think twice. Gave a very generous donation and set an example for everybody out there. And with that, Mr. Hecht, I say thank you very much and welcome back to JM and the AM.
You're very welcome. Very happy to support this wonderful news channel and all the chesed that you do on behalf of Am Yisrael.
I appreciate that very much, and it's an honor to be recognized as such, and I thank you. So, every week, maybe not every single week, but whenever Malcolm Hoenlein appears on this show, which is once a week, almost every week, he's mentioning how important it is to invest in Israel now.
Absolutely.
Because he jokes that he's been told that every year you wait, you lose another bedroom, meaning for the value of what you want to buy.
Absolutely. In fact, since the last time I was on...
Oh, don't tell me.
Just the shekel to the dollar exchange difference is 15% since I last spoke to you.
Correct.
Just the shekel to that. Forget about appreciation.
Right. We were talking about the...
that if somebody would have bought in April or May, to today, it was 3.7 shekel then to the dollar, and now it's 3.23, 3.25. It's 15% just in the exchange rate. So I can't predict the future, but people need to pull the trigger.
The other consideration, and the reason that he continues to say this, in addition to your point, which, as you indicate, is really, something that's happening acutely right now,
right,
is that... anything, it seems, although it's funny, I just had this argument with somebody the other day who was trying to convince me that you never know, but it seems that no matter where you buy in Israel, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, it's only going to be worth more.
Absolutely.
Now, again, this guy was trying to convince me that, hey, you never know, it's real estate, things go up, things go down, but I don't know. Israel doesn't seem to be playing by those rules, frankly.
So one of the points I want to bring up today is that there's this mentality in America that when you buy something, you have to handle. You have to negotiate. That's in our DNA when we negotiate. In Israel, they don't have that mentality. Everything is priced to market, and if you over-negotiate, you have a very good chance of losing the deal. And then you get into this mindset, oh my God, I lost the deal, so now I have to wait till another deal comes up, and then you trigger shy and you don't want to pull a trigger. So you have to rely on Israel One Stop that when we tell you that's the number, you got to pull the trigger.
Wow.
So if they're offering an apartment for 5 million shekel, here in America, you'd say, you know what, make an offer of 4.8, 4.9, 4.7, and we'll negotiate. The sellers are instructed to tell their brokers that don't bring us any of those lowball offers, because there's so much interest.
Just bring me to 5.
Bring me the 5, or of course you could offer 4, 5.50 and make a deal. But I have plenty of clients.
What do you mean? You just said you can't.
You could offer a little. You can't over-negotiate. Meaning, people ask 5, you can make us an offer and see what happens.
Meaning what? 4.9.
4.9, and
but not 4.5.
Exactly. And if the seller says 4.950 is where we make a deal, you can't come back and say 4.925.
That's what you mean.
Then the seller will say, you know what? we're out.
You're solving a big problem because, and I hate being stereotypical, but I think I speak with some authority. It is in our DNA, as you mentioned. Even if one can afford the apartment they're buying without any problem, they still need to know that they saved a drop of money somewhere.
They feel that, but I'm telling you from my experience, doing this for close to 2 years now, and we just crossed the 70 million shekel mark, which is a big milestone for me in closing deals. People need to understand if they see something they like, buy it.
What's available in Jerusalem these days? How many different projects are you working with?
There's projects all over the country.
But Jerusalem, more than one in Jerusalem, or
many in Jerusalem. Many in Arnona and near the David Citadel. We have a project.
Because I was stunned. What is going on here today? the gremlins have taken over the show. I was stunned by the price of certain new projects in Jerusalem. I thought they'd be impossible to afford.
Right.
And some of them are not so crazy.
No, you could get a deal for 4 million shekel, 3.5 million shekel, 5 million
if someone's
shekel.
willing to spend $1 million or give a significant down payment and then mortgage the rest, assuming they're able to.
Right. So as an American, you can mortgage up to 50%.
Right.
What I encourage people to do is to call me. We do an intake. No charge. You don't pay any fees unless you buy something. We do a full Zoom intake with my partners in Israel. We ask you a lot of questions. Where you looking to buy? Do you need a Shabbos elevator? Do you need a sukkah balcony? What's important to you? And then we give you a whole blueprint of all the different options that are available to you.
You need a sukkah balcony, forget Jerusalem.
Exactly.
It doesn't look
And the other problem is that there's 100 people looking for that same apartment.
Right.
So if it's available, it's gone quickly. But my point is that I really encourage people to call me at my cell number at 516-319-3999 or at joey@israelonestop.com. That's the numeric 1. And do a free intake.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? Try us out. People are inundated with different people about real estate in Israel. You open up your WhatsApp group with Yeshiva World of This Is Nice. Every day you see people coming into America. The difference that sets me apart from them and me is that I'm here. I've been in Grey Neck for 30 years. I'm here to make sure that whatever you're buying, I'm going to protect you not only now, but in the future as well. And another thing I want people to understand is there's no title insurance in Israel. Here in America, you got a contract, you hire a lawyer, he does a title search, and then they tell you the property's free and clear, and then you close and you get a deed, and you're good. In Israel, there is no title search. Your attorney is the most important person who has to do all that due diligence for you. My partner, Efrat Levy, who is an excellent attorney, will do all that due diligence so you could buy with confidence. And if you don't have the right attorney, you could have problems in the future. 2-3 years later, you might find out that you can't register your apartment in the land authority because there were fees that were still owed from before, which is unbelievable.
Right.
So
and common.
And it's common.
Right.
So we make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's so that you don't have any problems. That's why we set ourselves apart from all the other people out there. I'm not saying everybody's bad or good, but what we try to do is make sure that your investment is protected and we watch you every step of the way from A to Z.
Joey Hecht is here. The website again?
IsraelOneStop.com.
And it's number 1.
Number 1, exactly.
IsraelOneStop.com. You do help people open bank accounts in Israel.
Absolutely, which is also very difficult to do. Efrat could help you open up with a bank account, do the due diligence. We have resales, we have new developments, and we will do a Zoom with you, a FaceTime, WhatsApp with you, at the convenience and the comfort of your own home. If you happen to be in Israel, we'll meet you in person. We just had somebody in Woodmere this past Sunday, met with us for 3 hours. We showed them around an area in Netanya. They were very happy. A lot of people don't have the luxury to travel to Israel. So if you want to do it from the comfort of your dining room, your living room, your kitchen, we'll set up a Zoom, do a free intake, and start the process. It could take 2 months, 2 weeks, or even a year. But at the end of the day, we will find you your dream home.
You can help with property insurance.
Absolutely.
You can help with money transfers.
We can help.
You can help with renting out your apartment, right? They've bought an apartment and you've been helpful. Now that apartment needs to be rented out.
Manage it after it's rented out. We do the whole process literally from A to Z. We cover all the bases.
How long does it take now when a new project is announced for those apartments to be finished? Is there an average amount of time?
3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years. If someone announces a new project, you can be relatively confident that 4 years later that apartment building will exist?
Not only am I confident, it's bank guaranteed from the government, so your money is secured. But more importantly, if the developer doesn't finish on time, there's a penalty for them. So they have an incentive to want to finish it. What's the penalty? They have a 60-day grace period from the end date. So let's say it's January 2030. If they don't finish it on time, 2 months later, they have to pay you 1.5 times the rent value for every month that they're delayed.
Wow.
So trust me, they're motivated.
They're anxious.
They're anxious. So if there are 50 units in that building, multiply that by X amount of rent times 1.5, they want to make sure that project is getting done.
You and I are probably around a similar age.
Yep.
I would think that the majority of people who are looking to do what you're doing, who are looking to utilize your service and buy an apartment in Israel, are probably in a younger age group than we are.
Not necessarily.
Because I don't know how many people older than us, and again, I'm being very general here, older than us want to take on a large mortgage that could last, 10, 20 years when they're getting up there in age. Is this a myth that I'm painting here?
Yes. In fact, last night I got a call from a client who said, I might not be buying for myself, but I'm buying for my children.
Yeah, but they're going to have to take over the mortgage.
The parents are willing to take on the risk for their children. Meaning the environment today with the recent elections and with anti-Semitism going on in the world, people are petrified. Many of them are Holocaust survivors.
So they'll leave enough money for them to pay off the building.
They're saying we have an Arusha. I want them to enjoy the Arusha while I'm alive. Not when I'm gone.
Right, but
so
not
if it means
for
me to invest. Now, I'll enjoy it maybe temporarily when I go, but I want to make sure that my children and my grandchildren have a place to go.
Understood, but they're also, because of what you just described as the Yerusha, they're also confident that they'll leave enough money for that apartment to be covered and be fully paid off.
Exactly. I asked you this question last time. Do you know anybody who ever says they regret buying in Israel?
No.
Never. No. But everybody always says, I regret not buying in Israel.
Right, and not buying early enough.
And people say, I should have bought a week ago. I should have bought a month ago. Well, guess what? You should be buying today.
Could I tell you a story? But you want to know something? If I would buy today, then 5 years from now, I would say, thank God I bought then and not today, meaning 5 years later.
Well, the advantage of buying a new development is that you could put down 10, 20, depending on the structure of the new development. You're locking in today's prices that when it will be ready in 5 years, it would have had already appreciation. So that's the goal.
So when it's built, it's going to be worth more.
You're already making money, exactly. I told you I had a rabbi in Granite who bought a year ago. I can mention his name, Rabbi Salmicki. He doesn't mind me sharing it.
Old friend of mine.
He bought for 2.5 million shekel in Yerushalayim. I'm sure on paper it's already worth 500,000 shekel more. Just on paper. Not that he's selling it, but every day that goes by, you have appreciation value, and you're buying an Eretz Yisrael. You know what? I read your book and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And I saw the history of all the pictures and everything that's going on in the book. Could you imagine if you bought 40 years ago or 30 years ago or 20 years ago? We wouldn't be sitting in this room today.
If I tell you the opportunity that I had in 2005, you'd faint. If I told you.
So I want you to encourage your listeners. They shouldn't be in that position.
Right.
That they need to pull the trigger. Whoever's thinking about it, what I have to lose, call me. It's a free intake. We'll give them a free evaluation, and we'll be happy to work with them.
As you said, developments that we mentioned today, Israel does not have title insurance, so that's a savings, right?
Right. Well, not that it's a savings. I just wanted to educate the people that are listening to make sure that if they're not using me and they're using an attorney, to make sure that that attorney is doing the due diligence before they sign. In Israel, it's the opposite.
That's what you meant, coming from that angle.
Exactly. In Israel, it's opposite than here. Here you go to contract, you get title insurance, and then you close.
Right.
In Israel, when you sign the contract, that is the closing. You own the apartment. Even though you're buying a reseller and the person you're buying from is still living in the apartment, you officially own it. And if your lawyer didn't do the due diligence, if there was a mortgage owed, if there's any liens on the property, they have to check all that out. Once you signed, in 2-3 years, when you do the final registration with the land authority, and they say, oh, by the way, there's $1 million shekel owed on the apartment, it's your responsibility.
How'd you find out all this stuff, Mr. Hecht?
Being in the business.
Simple as that?
We've done so many events in Grey Neck Synagogue, Babylonian Jewish Center, in New Jersey, in Woodmere, in people's private home. When we do speeches and my attorney speaks, Efra Levy, she explains, and people ask excellent questions. What happens if this and what happens with that? And she goes over all the specific details. And I want your audience to understand, be careful. And coming through Israel One Stop, we make sure that we protect you. Wow. We make sure that we do that due diligence for you so you don't have a problem.
When's your next event? Is there one coming up, or you haven't planned anything?
We
yet?
haven't planned anything. This is the event right here.
This is morning at JM and the AM.
This is the event.
You want to hear from people?
Absolutely.
Come on, folks. You got to call Joey Hecht. At least start the process.
Call me at 516-319-3999, and I promise you'll be happy you called. You have nothing to lose.
Right. And those, frankly, who own a house here,
right?
That's valuable, especially if the mortgage is paid off.
Right.
You know, they start thinking about Israel. They think about Florida. They think about other states in the United States. Don't take Israel off of that list.
I want you to know all my recent clients said we were planning on buying in Florida. Florida's off the list. It's only Israel. People want to buy. I'm telling you, the environment today is scary.
But they say in Florida it's not as scary.
The UK,
right?
The UK people are fleeing. In fact, my partners were in the UK and they said, don't talk about new development, only resale. We need to leave now. Which means you're competing with people from London, you're competing with people from Paris, from Woodmere, from Teaneck, from Borough Park, from all over. So there's only that many apartments in Israel, good apartments. You want a water view. How many water views are there? How many 6-bedroom apartments are there? How many 5-bedroom apartments are there? Everybody wants to be in a specific block, specific community, and 30 people are bidding on the same apartment. So you got to pull the trigger. Today's the day to buy.
Wow. What a difference 40 years make.
Oh, it's crazy.
What a difference.
And I'm telling you, now that the war is Baruch Hashem a million times over.
Things are calmer, right?
Things are calmer. People are not actually traveling to Israel. When people are traveling, there's more action. When there's more action, the prices get even stronger. And there's less availability. So we have to get into the game.
Did you see that list online this week of average price in different cities in Israel? I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
I mean, Tel Aviv was way at the top.
So,
you know what was in the middle, which shocked me?
Sure.
I thought it would be higher up, is Beersheba.
Right, because it's a little further.
Beersheba's more affordable?
It's more affordable. Anything that's not in Tel Aviv.
Right, or Jerusalem.
Netanya or Jerusalem, that's a further north or south, is a little cheaper. But I have to tell you, almost 90% of my clientele are buying in those 3 areas. Yerushalayim, Tel Aviv, and Netanya became the place.
Well, that's it. That's where everyone's buying, is Netanya.
Netanya is where it's at. That's where all the action is. Ir Yamim, there's new projects all around that area, and that's where the action is.
But I have friends who bought in Ashkelon also.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any bad place to buy in Israel?
No, I'm just saying that, people think that Anglos, wouldn't fit in certain areas. You'd be shocked where you'll find Anglo communities.
That's why I encourage people to do an intake with us and let us understand what their budget. If they tell me my budget's $700,000, I'm going to tell them you can't afford Yerushalayim or Tel Aviv. We'll look for other places.
What's a 3-bedroom in Katzrin? I still have this dream of going, to Syria.
We'll find you the right deal.
Because I told you what my friend said about Katzrin. He said, you got to move to where he is. He's in Katzrin. So you got to move here, Nachum, because you'll have all the space you could ever imagine, and nobody will ever come to visit.
No one's going to bother you.
And I thought that was an interesting pitch. What do you think, Mr. Hecht? Are you looking into Katzrin at all?
Let's do it. We'll go partners.
Or Kiryat Shmona?
We'll go partners.
Are you looking to fund apartments in Kiryat Shmona?
I told you we're working with Trump in Gaza. We're trying to fire up all the waterfront property as a joke.
No, I know it's a joke, but boy, could you imagine if they really would make valued property in an area like that?
Let's be serious. Prices are going up. People are looking. People are buying. And your listeners should really want to reach out. And I'm here to help them find their dream home in Israel.
Have you helped anybody move to Eilat?
No.
Not one in Eilat.
Not in Eilat. I'm telling you, the 3 most popular areas in Netanya, Jerusalem,
I get it, but
a couple in Herzliya, a couple in Ranana.
I get it.
I did a bunch in Ranana.
But you knew you were coming here today with a guy interested in both Eilat and Katzrin. I mean, come on.
I'm going to find you the best deal. 3 million shekel. No money down. 0 down.
I have a feeling that's available there.
I'll make it available.
Believe me, I have a feeling it's available there. Once these apartments are finished, that's when the 50% comes in, where you have to make sure you have 50% of the money in cash to hand over.
Absolutely. So if you're doing a new development, you're putting down either 10 or 20%, or some of them you put 7, then 13, 10, 10, and 10 till you get to 50. But that doesn't come into play on the mortgage side till about 6 months before it's completed.
Right.
So we'll notify you, we'll tell you, give you updates along the way where the project's going, all the payments you need to make going along. But you don't have to do the mortgage. So you don't apply for it today. You apply for it back on the back end 3 to 4, 5 years out from now.
And is it rare that an American, especially one who's put down the 50%, is rejected for a mortgage?
No. If it's the same process is here. If you have the paperwork, if you have the W-2 and the 1040, it's the same process. Now many people do the mortgage share and send the money there.
No.
Yeah.
So what bank would mortgage a property in Israel?
No. They take a mortgage against their home. In other words, they find ways to pull the money here and send it there. But the Israeli banks do 4.5%, 5%. It's not a problem. I've had no clients had an issue getting a mortgage.
Very interesting.
Nachum, are you ready?
When you say
I'll make it work for you. Let's go.
Not only are you one stop, you're one stop with ease, it seems.
Absolutely.
No, but smooth sailing.
With a smile.
With a smile.
Listen, I grew up in Borough Park. Come on.
You went from Borough Park to Great Neck?
Absolutely. No, first I went to Queens.
But isn't that an unusual route, Borough Park to Great Neck?
No.
It's not unusual.
No.
There are other Borough Parkers in Great Neck?
I married a wonderful Swarty girl, Donna. She grew up in Forest Hills. And we ended up in Great Neck, Baruch Hashem, with 3 kids, 6 grandchildren, very happy.
Wow. Pretty cool.
But I'm telling you, my passion is to find people their dream home in Israel. After October 7th, Hashem gave me this mission. I told you last time, I was in my garage. I was doing all this chesed for Israel, sending packages, sending bulletproof vests, sending all the different things that the soldiers needed. And I said, God talked to me, and he said, this is your mission. I'm telling you, I have a mandate from God to help people find an apartment in Israel.
Wow. It's a good mission to have. Website again.
IsraelOneStop.com.
IsraelOneStop.com. It's the number 1 in the address. The number 1, the actual number. The numeral, the figure. IsraelOneStop.com. Joey Hecht is available at the following phone number for everybody.
516-319-3999. I'm available on Instagram at IsraelOneStop.com or Facebook. You can WhatsApp me, call me, text me, and I'll be more than happy to set up a Zoom with my partners at your convenience, and I promise you, you'll be very happy.
Mr. Hecht, is there anything else you'd like to add, sir?
Just call.
That covers it all, huh?
Covers it all.
So your dream home awaits in one of the major or minor cities of Israel.
Absolutely. First, I want to thank you for inviting me for the 3rd time. Retz Hashem, I'll be a 4th and a 5th time. And my goal is to keep saying how great things are in Israel. And I'm going to bring in some clients of mine to give updates on the process and how happy they are with the services that we provide.
And bring Rabbi Somlicki.
And I'll bring,
old friend.
Wonderful. I know Rabbi Palkos is a dear friend of yours as well.
Saw him recently. The man's amazing.
Amazing. Love him.
The man is amazing. Also has a son who's amazing.
Absolutely. His whole family's amazing. Yeah. Wonderful guy.
Anyway. You got a lot of people thinking, as always, during one of your visits.
Absolutely.
And that's the most important thing.
I'm happy that the thing, we don't pressure anyone to buy. All I'm saying is call us to do an intake. Tell us what your needs and wants are, and let us help you find what you're looking for.
Because Mr. Hecht, I don't know if you're familiar with this or not.
Sure.
But on a regular basis here at JM we say the future of the Jewish people is in the state of Israel.
Absolutely.
And that means if you're in the U.S., the UK, Europe, South America, South Africa, or anywhere on this globe, the future of the Jewish people is in the state of Israel.
That's why I own 2 properties there, Meretz Hashem.
What cities?
I own in Netanya and Yerushalayim. In one of my projects.
You're doing the typical thing.
I'm doing the typical thing.
Yerushalayim and Netanya.
We have a project called Eden. It's on Hillel Street. It's a 6-minute walk from Mamila Mall.
Right.
Okay, it's 2 blocks from Ben Yehuda, 1 block from King George. It's going to be ready in 3 years. Yossi Avrami's the developer. We still have a few apartments left over there. I bought a 5-bedroom, 4-room apartment.
Is that the largest 5-4?
Yeah, besides the penthouses. We have a mini penthouse and a penthouse, several of them.
Are there a lot of 3s available in a building like that?
Yeah, there's 2s and 3s available as well.
Interesting.
I know you. I could tell in your eyes you're considering it.
Well, one of the things that's holding us back is going to end up, costing us so much money.
Right.
Is that you'd like to see where your children and grandchildren end up before you make a decision where to go and invest.
People tell me that all the time, but then other people tell me I need to get in.
Right.
Joey, I need in.
Right. Then we'll worry about where we end up.
I'll worry about it later. Right. Yes. And you know what? You might pay 25% appreciation tax if you end up selling it. They want to lock in an apartment because they know that they missed the boat yesterday and the day before, and they don't want to miss the boat again.
Gotcha, Mr. Hecht. A lot to think about.
Absolutely.
I hope the listeners think less than I do and actually act on this as soon as possible. IsraelOneStop.com. Thank you so much for visiting today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me back.
A pleasure. More coming up. You're listening to JM in the AM.